Hi, Lara and Armin. This is Lynn. Just wanted to kind of give you a couple of my thoughts as I worked through this PIP. And overall, I think it's a really good place to start. There are a couple of suggestions that I have. I kind of started back here with data collection, and I went in and created an incident report so that I would have some data in there. Just one thing, and I don't know if it's just because it's in a test mode, but when I tried to go in to PI meeting and launch the new PIP tool from there, go to my quarter 3 data. It wouldn't launch, so I don't know if that's just because it's right here. I couldn't get these here to launch for me when I clicked on them. It just wouldn't go into it, so it just stalled. So that might be just because it's under development and there's not a flow for it yet. But Um, I liked the format. I like the ability to be able to go in here and be able to start the new PIP. So as you can see, I went ahead and I did one based on falls data. So I'm going to open that one up. And just a couple of things as I was working my way through it, right? So I started with a July 1st date. That's when this PIP started, and we were going to do it for a half a year. I liked all of this. I wondered if in the status we could put, instead of in progress, just in progress, we could put a like a new PIP, like so you could see that it was just started, or it was inactive or closed, like if some of those status things, Lara, that we had talked about earlier, and I'll show you the document, that we could put those up there. And I think we had talked about, um, you know, a new start, it's in progress, and then it's closed or completed, so, or it's inactive, right? So those were the ones that we, had kind of talked about. So I would like to see a few more drop down options in there, and I have a Word document that I had shared with you earlier that I'll give you, and maybe there's another way to put it in here, but that's where I would kind of start. I liked this so that you could have people that were in there. I liked the problem statement. I liked the aim statement. I wondered if there was a way to add, let's just say, I'm talking about falls here. Could we have more than one problem statement? Um, Perhaps, I mean, you could write two in here easily, but I'm thinking, like, if I have a patient, or if I'm looking at falls and I'm looking at my falls data, I might have an increase in the number of falls, but I also might have an increase in the number of a specific category. And so maybe we want to have, uh, you know, maybe one problem statement, but the option of adding different goals right here, right? So that there's more than one goal. So one problem statement, and one or two options to have that add button down here. The other thing so under plan, I went ahead and I put in, what our goals are. So again, this is kind of going back to this aim statement or goals. I put in 3 different goals here based on what I, would like to accomplish on my team, but I only have one goal up here. So that's where I thought about having the add there so that they could kind of be in alignment there. And otherwise, this was really, really good. And I liked the notes section down here as well. Then under the do category, this worked out very well also. And then adding the notes. One of the things that I found in the do category was that I couldn't edit it. So if I made a mistake and I wanted to go back and make some changes, and I guess this could be true of everything here, like you can edit these boxes and make changes, but here I couldn't like delete what I had already written. It just stayed there. So I would have to create something new. Um, where in this section I could come in and I could, kind of make the modifications. So that was there. And then under the study, I wondered if we could add a date section in here, because what I found is when I put in like what, what we were starting with, and then I was going to be doing an update. Well, my data hadn't changed, but I had to put those numbers in with the goal, the same thing. So I wondered if there was a way when you click the add button, because the way that I use study is I'm kind of looking at my results again, like maybe in a couple of weeks or maybe, in a month, especially this is a 6-month PIP. Um, could I have a date here to say this is the update? This is what's happening with the update, right? I put it here in the notes section and what was happening. So again, I liked, kind of, the ability to add the date there. And then under the act, the language we had talked about, and again, I'll share that document, was that we would say on track, delayed, inactive, achieved, and then other, right? And so, like the sustain to me means that we're continuing to do what we're doing, but here, sustain is saying barriers to implementation. When I had, it was delayed or it became inactive, right? So, and then accept really is achieved, and then reject is really inactive, and then removed, right? So I wonder if we can, I'll show you the document that I had sent earlier, if we could revisit the terminology there, and then if there was some ability to, I like the notes section, but I think we had also talked about a section on next steps where we had some drop downs in there, that were already pre-built for people, or they could add them in, um, so they could select. So like one example would be that, we're going to educate the team, or we're going to share these results with our leadership, or this was, a severe or a severe event that was actually a sentinel event, so we're going to, implement an RCA. So I think that's kind of the next thing, is to have this kind of cleaned up with these different titles, and then when they click it, are there some drop downs that we could build in there that help them do that? I love the upload of additional files, and I did put a file in there. I also, so that works fine. So here's my cycle, right? So cycle 1, we started it. I would like that to say PIP started instead of in progress, right? And that's pulled from up here where the only options were in progress or close, right? So I think that if I'm looking at this PIP, I would like to be able to see, okay, we started it here. Here is an update. But all of my stuff had to kind of come from notes. So I wonder if there's a way to be able to, let's see if I open that up, kind of see the progress, so this would say in progress as we're going through, as we're, let me go back down there. Sorry, I'm talking ahead of myself. So, like this would be in progress, this would be new start, this would be in progress, and it would pull from, what's happening here, right? So the act piece of it, what's going on, if there was a delay, if there was, a barrier, some of that language there. Those are the main things I think related to this. Just making sure that it functions from, the PI meeting, and then that we can add some ability to create some easier things in there, more language that matches that. So here's the document I'm going to send you. Oops, that's not it. Hang on. Sorry. Where did it go? Where did it go? All right, I will send it to you, but the document that I was looking at was specific to, oh, here it is. Pip word. Sorry. that we had talked about when we first started this. So what is the status of your PIP for this cycle? Update: on track, it's delayed, it's inactive. So every time they're updating it, they're selecting the status of this, and that pulls down then into that report or that table that you created in the PIP as well, which I love. I love to see that comprehensive PIP. What are our next steps? On track, delayed, this PIP will be updated with, added steps. This will be revised due to the delays and barriers. Inactive, achieved, and then another category with their ability to put some things in. And then we had talked about adding drop downs in the PIP, plans for them to select. And we had started with having discussed reasons for delays or barriers with leadership. Analysis and evaluation will be completed. Like, I can help create some additional um, drop downs in there. So then it just makes it easier for people to be able to, accomplish that PIP, much like you guys have in the staff meeting minutes, the drop downs there. So those are that's feedback. If you need to reach me this week, I have somewhat limited email access or internet access, but you can contact me on my phone